everyone, welcome to a new vlog. So today we're actually having a little bit of an at-home day because we're currently in the middle of Storm Eowyn. So you've probably heard about it on the news if you're from the UK that Friday, so today's Friday, we're actually being hit with a bit of quite a strong storm. So we've been given the red weather warning, which actually is like the most serious one. So that's like danger to life, and you're not meant to like leave your house or anything like that. So so we've just been kind of staying inside today. Later on, it is meant to calm down a bit. So James is working at night, so that should hopefully be fine for him to go to his work like normal. Obviously it will depend on if the roads and things are okay, but it should be fine. So yeah, so I've just been kind of having a bit of an at-home day. Just sort of we went out yesterday. Last night to actually I went out to buy some snacks and things because we're going away tomorrow to down to Liverpool. So I went out to buy some bits and bobs for going there, and we went to Tesco's quite late at night, like about 10 o'clock, and honestly it was so busy, and I was like, why is it so busy? Like, why is everybody like here at this time? And then I kind of seen elsewhere that lots of people were going out panic buying because of this storm. So honestly, you would have thought it was the middle of the day in Tesco's. It was so busy, and there was like a massive queue at the self-checkout bit. Never seen that there. And so everybody was like stocking up, but I thought it was really funny because everyone was like stocking up on the snacks. They were all like buying crisps and chocolate, juice and things like that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. But and then actually when we were in the queue for the self-checkout, somebody in the queue got one of the warning texts. So earlier on today, everybody, I think in the red area, got one of those texts that's like one of those warning signals, you know, like similar to if you've seen the movie Greenland, you know, that really like loud kind of siren noise, and then it comes up a sort of warning text on your phone. So a lot of people had gotten that. I got it at like 6 o'clock in the evening. But somebody got it in the line, in the queue, and everybody just kind of looked at them, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like Greenland, this is like the movie, like everyone, like you get the, you know, the warning signal in the supermarket. So yeah, I just thought that was quite funny. So yeah, so it's kind of later on in the day actually. I'd probably say the worst of the weather was earlier on. So it was really windy earlier, and just looking outside, I'll kind of like have a little look out the back. There has been a lot of things that have kind of been like flipped around and things. But yeah, all the shops that are on our street, because we're on quite a street with quite a lot of like little shops, bakeries and things like that. So everything's shut apart from the pharmacy, which kind of you would expect, and randomly one bakery, which I thought was really strange. So I don't know if maybe the person who's working in there maybe lives maybe locally or something and thought I'll just go in, I don't know. But because I think they should have been shut. But yeah, I know it's made things like pharmacies, doctors and stuff are kind of running like a sort of limited service. So so I don't know if everything's going to open again at like 5 o'clock, because I know that for James's work, he works at night in like sort of bars and restaurants and things like that, like for singing. So I know a lot of them have said they're going to open at 6 because that's when everything's meant to be back to kind of normal. Yeah, so this is just kind of what our out the back of the flat is looking like. This is how kind of windy it is just now. So it definitely is calming down. It's nowhere near as bad as it was maybe like an hour or so ago. But I don't know if you could see down there, there's like what looks like a bit of wood. That was actually the top of a picnic table that was there, so that's obviously moved. And the only thing about living in like old Edinburgh tenements, you can actually see it waggling in front of the window, is there's so many old like TV and like cables and things, like TV aerial cables and things that are all hanging from the roofs and going down the buildings. So quite a lot of them have come loose and are just kind of now flapping around. And we do actually have one out the front of our flat, which the last time it was really windy, it gets caught on like a bit of stonework that's round our bay window on the outside, and we kind of have to actually lean out. Gosh, you could really hear that wind. Don't know if you can hear that, but like yeah, every now and again we get a really bad gust of it. You can actually see the pigeons on the trees flapping. But yeah, so like the wires out the front, we have to like unhook them from the stonework on the outside of our flat, otherwise it just kind of goes right across our window and it looks a bit tight, and I'm always scared that it's going to like, you know, become detached or something. Yeah, so it definitely is still quite windy just now. So I'm actually just about to go and have something to eat. I'll probably, we'll have something to eat, and then later on, as I said, take James to his work. And my plan for this evening is I'm going to do a little bit of my own work on my own business. I'm not sure if I'm going to, I mentioned before that we're going to Liverpool tomorrow, so I'm not sure if I'm going to vlog too much there, or I'll just kind of see how the weekend goes and see how I feel and stuff like that. But another thing that I've noticed, another thing about having an old property, is I'll kind of flip you around and show what I kind of spotted this morning, poor Chester. So you can actually see him kind of investigating it here. So this little vent here in our kitchen, I'll kind of just move this out of the way, is actually where the, because this is our, like the wall in our kitchen here, so our vent, yeah, there's like a vent there where Chester's sniffing at. That actually used to be where the old fireplace used to be, and I'm assuming there's a chimney, you know, a chimney at the top of that. So I'd had Chester's food right where he's like kind of sitting. That's kind of where I had it. And then I noticed earlier, I was like, oh no, there's like all this black stuff in it. So there'd been lots of soot that had been obviously getting blown out of this vent, and it had went into his food and everything. So I've had to move, obviously his food is over there just now, away. But yeah, so that's the only thing about having like old properties and things, is that things like that, like kind of like, I suppose little gaps, little holes and things like that, that maybe aren't quite, you know, all sealed and things, you'd really notice it. And although I have to say, we've got floorboards out the whole of our flat, like, and these are the original floorboards, and they aren't drafty. Like, I'm not feeling the wind or anything. I was actually a bit worried that we were going to feel or hear the wind whistling between them, but so far I've not heard anything, and it's still really warm, so that's really good. So another thing that I thought I could share in this vlog is I thought I could give you a little update on our bedroom. So I think the last time that I caught up with you with what we were doing with our bedroom, we'd put up the railings and things, but I hadn't actually showed you how we'd sort of organised it. So probably do that as well later on in this vlog, as well as kind of maybe share with you a little bit of some like movies and books and things that I've been reading recently. Yeah, so just a little bit of a kind of overall kind of bit of a catch up. This is what I've put together for a very like quick lunch. I quite like having lots of little kind of things to kind of snack on. So I've got these little sweet chilli like kind of puff things that I got from Morrison's. These are really nice. A yoghurt, and then just some grapes, raisins, some little bits of cheese, and then a couple of little shortbread biscuits. I've got 2 there because there's 2 left in the packet, and I just wanted to get them finished so I could chuck the box out. And then I've just finished making myself a hazelnut coffee on our Nespresso machine. So I actually love this one. I think the hazelnut flavour is probably my favourite flavour, coffee flavour, and I just have it like this without any milk or anything. I just have it black. I think the creamy stuff on the top sort of makes it creamy enough for me. Ah, Chester. I think Chester's interested in seeing the wire that's kind of swinging around outside. Oh. It's a little bit later on now, and I'm actually about to sit down and do a little bit of drawings. I think I mentioned in my last vlog that I was wanting to start a bit of a new hobby, or should I say restart a new hobby. So I actually went out and bought myself like a sketch pad and pencils and things, pens, because I'm wanting to try and start getting back into like illustrating and drawing and things. So I actually have been watching a couple of, you know, just like little how-to videos just to kind of get back into it, and I'll kind of flip you around and show you what I've been working on. So I, as part of my business, I make and sell teaching resources, and obviously I use like clip art and little images just to make it look a little bit nicer. So I think eventually what I'd love to do is actually draw my own images and clip art and, you know, little animals or little designs and things that I could then put onto my own resources so that they're completely unique. But I mean, that's something that, you know, will probably be quite a bit in the future. Just now I'm just wanting to kind of get back into drawing and just really enjoy it. So I'll flip you around and let you see what I've been working on recently. So these are a few of the drawings that I was kind of practicing by following along on YouTube. There's honestly so many videos of that on YouTube, so if you are wanting to get back into drawing, even if it's painting or something different, there is so many, like, you know, YouTube videos out there. So these are just a few little drawings. I went over a couple of them with pen, and then I started kind of looking at different ways of drawing cats. That's kind of the sort of first animal that I really wanted to learn how to draw, and I think eventually I would kind of almost like to do like a little cartoon version of Chester, my cat Chester. So yeah, I was just kind of looking at different face shapes, different ear sizes, different ways of doing the ears and the eyes. Then I kind of went on and had a little look at doing different faces with different eyes, and I've kind of put stars next to the two that I quite like. So this one here, it's almost like a cat eye shape, and then this one here I thought looked really cute as well, because I want to try and make my drawings look a bit unique. So a lot of the designs that I was sort of seeing lots of already are sort of these kind of ones here where they're just using the lines and then the circle eyes. But I quite liked even the heart-shaped ones, just to make them look a little bit different. And then, as I said, I was looking at different head shapes for the cat. So some of them I went a little bit wonky, I was just doing it very roughly. However, I do like this one because I just think it looks really cute with the little down-turned ears. And even this one as well. And yeah, so kind of come up with lots of different face shapes. And then the other day, I actually kind of went on to start looking at doing jellyfish. So I was just trying out different shapes for the, are they called tendrils? Yeah, for the tendrils, different body shapes, you know, with different shapes along the bottom. And then what I did here was I actually combined my two designs for my cats that I quite like into the jellyfish, because that's the kind of thing that I quite like, is when you combine a couple of different sort of ideas, so different animals, or, you know, sort of an animal with, you know, like something like a milkshake or something really cute like that, just to come up with a different, I suppose, very unique little illustration. So yeah, so I'm going to try and work on a few more different designs. I might have a look at doing a different animal and just see how that goes. You just look so cute there on your scratching thing. This thing that Chester's lying on just now is actually a scratching board thing. It's kind of like an L shape. So it's to kind of try and prevent him from scratching the wall and scratching this instead. And he absolutely loves it. As you can see, it's very well used up here, and he does come to it himself to use it. He still occasionally does go to the wall, but I would definitely recommend this if you do have a cat that scratches things like furniture or walls and things like that. And as you can see, he's actually lying on it, so sometimes he just likes to lie on it, which is really funny. But yeah, definitely recommend that. It did have a little ball that kind of went in that gap there, and they can kind of play with it, but I don't know where that is. Oh no, I think it's over there. Yeah, he's actually flicked it out. You can see it in the corner there. He's managed to get that out, and but you can just pop it back in really easily. So here's a little look at what I've been working on with my drawing. So I kind of thought I'd have a little look at drawing different types of fruit. So I've been drawing a mixture of watermelon, different styles, like the slice of a watermelon or half a watermelon, and pineapples, trying out different styles as well, and just combining it like with different kinds of eyes, and then also turning it into like a pineapple cat, or up the top there, a little watermelon cat. I think they've actually turned out pretty cute actually. Hello again. So it's a little bit later on, same day, so I've actually just dropped James off at his gig tonight. So you can probably hear in the background the front door to our close banging when people are coming in and out. It's still really, really windy, but it definitely has died down a bit. So we're just kind of contemplating when to leave for Liverpool. So our original plan was to kind of head off right after James's gig, but I think it's still going to be a little bit, maybe a bit too windy to head down, so I think we're going to try and maybe hang off a little bit more until the weather warning has kind of went down a little bit more. We're not in the red weather warning anymore, we're in amber. So I think it goes down to yellow at 9 o'clock, and then it actually completely stops at midnight. So hopefully it'll be better to drive down then. So I thought what I would do is, I'm just about to sit down and do a little bit of work for my online business just now. But before, I thought I could just give you a little update on our bedroom. So this is what our bedroom is currently looking like with the railings. As you can see on the right there, this is all my railings, and it's those kind of sort of industrial looking pipe railings that we got. So I'll just kind of flip you around so you can see James's side. So they're just made of like metal and almost like put together with those big bolt kind of things up the top there. So they were quite tricky to put together because the brand that we got them from didn't include any like instructions, and it was quite straightforward, but we had to figure out what pipes went where, so that was the only negative. But they're very, very sturdy, and as you can see down the bottom, they have like very sturdy feet as well, so they're not attached to the wall or anything, they're just freestanding. But we could actually fit all of our clothes on here. So there's only a couple of little bits and bobs in our unit that our TV's on, with a couple of drawers, like sort of underwear and socks and things, but everything else is on these railings. So this is James's side. His side is a bit bigger than mine because he's not got the window. And as I said, he's managed to get on all his trousers, all his t-shirts, jumpers, shirts, everything. And it is definitely not like too much for the rack. I think think James actually mentioned that these can be used in shops. Like these are ones that can actually be taken into shops. So this is my side here. Again, I've got the sort of tops and things and everything on the top. I've put like my trousers, shorts and things, and sort of heavier jumpers and hoodies down the bottom, and then my longer things here like dresses, long play suits and things like that. And then what I love is on the end here there's actually this little kind of hooky thing, and you can hang on it like hats, belts, you know, things like that. I've got my mini ears from when we went to Disney propped up there as well. So they're great, and actually I quite like this little space that's kind of underneath. I've just popped like the pillows and things off our bed just now there, but that would be a good space for a little, maybe like chest of drawers, like kind of the size of a bedside cabinet. You could probably fit that in there just for a little bit extra storage, or like a basket or something. On James's side, that's where we've actually got our like washing basket just now, but obviously his trousers are all folded in half, so they don't kind of come down as much. But yeah, you can see his little hooky thing here, that's kind of where he puts some of his hats. So yeah, so it's great. As I said, they're so sturdy, and we've managed to fit pretty much every bit of clothing on these railings, so I'm really happy with how they've turned out. So this is just a little view like from the doorway of what our, like my side kind of looks like, and this is what James's side looks like, and then that's our bed there. So yeah, I know that I think I was a little bit worried that it was going to feel a bit like the clothes were kind of really close to the bed and things, but I actually quite like waking up in the morning and kind of being able to see my clothes, because I can already kind of start to figure out, like think about what I want to wear, because I can actually see them. So I quite like the open you know, like wardrobe look. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people like it being away, having cupboards and having it all nice and tidy, but I actually quite like having the clothes out. I do quite like colour coordinating the clothes, so I kind of half did it with James's side, but I did do it with my side. You can kind of see that I've got all the sort of neutrals together, the blues together and the pinks together, but I think I'm going to rearrange it a little bit because I did it better at our last flat that we stayed in. The brand, I'm sure it was called Pipe Dreams, and but I can't fault the quality. Like the quality is amazing. So I'm just going to go and do a little bit of work now, just while I'm waiting on James kind of finishing his gig and before we kind of decide to head off down to Liverpool. I've worn my hair curly today and I can't get it sitting right because I've not worn it like this for quite a while. What I do is I put it in pleats to make it curly, and then I've actually clipped it at the back. But it's been a while since I've worn it like this, so I feel like I'm constantly fiddling with it because I'm not used to wearing it like this for a while. But yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit of marketing stuff for my business. I'm actually going to be making some pins for Pinterest for my website, get those created and scheduled out on Pinterest, and then I'll see, I think I might sort of have a little look at how to plan out my week for next week, because I think I'm going to change it a little bit again. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do just now. So we made it to Liverpool. We ended up driving down. We didn't wait until sort of the early hours in the morning. We actually left a little bit earlier, and it was actually okay driving. We kind of only came across some kind of wind just as actually we were leaving Edinburgh. So we're now in Liverpool. I'm just in the hotel room just now. James, he's actually away out watching a football match, so I've got a little bit of time to myself, which I'm going to be doing some work and just having a little bit of time in the room. So because we never got here till quite early in the morning, like as in like early hours of the morning, we were both quite tired, so I had a little bit of a nap actually. The hotel that we're staying in is called the Pullman, and it's right on the docks in Liverpool. And so far the impressions of the hotel are lovely. Like the staff are so nice, the room is really nice as well. But what I thought I could share with you just now was a little bit about like books, movies and TV shows and things that we've been watching recently. So first of all, I'll start off with books. So the book that I've got it with me, reading recently has been this one here, Leave the World Behind, and it's actually been made into a film on Netflix. So the movie on Netflix is really good. Like I really enjoyed it, and I think it's got Julia Roberts in it if I'm right. And I have to say, reading the book, first of all, I wasn't 100% convinced. It seemed to be quite slow, and even though, you know, like, if you've seen the movie and like I know obviously kind of what has been going on, it still just felt like quite slow paced. So however, I'm now about, I would say, what's that, 3/4 maybe, just over 2/3 of the way through, and it's starting to get a little bit more interesting now. So so I'm not totally sure. I'll see how I feel when I finish it, but I am starting to enjoy it now, so hopefully the rest of the book will be just as good as the movie at least. So TV wise, we've actually not really been watching any new TV series. To be honest with you, we've been watching more movies. The only TV series we've been really watching or season has been the new Love Island All Stars, so that's kind of what I've been watching TV wise. Movie wise though, I've watched a few sort of new films to me, like I've not watched them yet, which I quite enjoyed. So one of the ones that we watched was called The Founder, and which was actually all about how McDonald's was founded. So it was about the story of the two brothers who actually came up with the concept, and then the other person, I can't remember his name, who kind of took over the business side of it and just like, you know, what happened. So that was really good. I didn't realise that's kind of what had happened. And then the other movie that we watched just the other night was called Fly Me to the Moon, and which has Scarlett Johansson in it and Channing Tatum, and it's about basically the moon landing, but almost like they kind of had to plan an alternative moon landing, so almost like a staged version just in case they didn't make it. And so yeah, it was really, really good. I love anything spatial aid, so definitely recommend watching that, and really enjoyed that. And then the other two movies we've kind of watched is James found out that I'd never actually seen The Incredibles, so we watched Incredibles 1 and the second one, which, you know, were really good. Loved them. I love the kind of retro kind of feel to them, like they weren't set in like modern time, they were almost like 1950s, I suppose. So yeah, so love those as well. So yeah, so that's everything that we've kind of been watching and reading and stuff the last little while. So the next thing that I kind of wanted to share, because I'm actually just about to sit and do a little bit of work. So I've got a mixture of kind of jobs that I do for my online business. I've got the ones that, you know, when you're done, and I've got other ones that are kind of ongoing, and they're constantly ongoing, like it's always going to be something that I'm always going to have to do. So like things like looking at optimizing the SEO on my website or updating things, it's like a constant, you're just kind of constantly doing it. So it can be quite you know, you can get caught up in doing it for longer than probably what you should. So a little productivity tip that I've kind of been doing recently, and it's great because it means that I'm not sitting doing something for too long to the point where my eyes are getting sore looking at a screen, or I'm doing it when, you know, it's just, you know when you start to lose focus and things and start to make mistakes. So it kind of cuts me down from doing it too long. And then the second reason that I do this is because it makes me really focused. So what I do is I actually set a timer on my phone. I'm actually just looking for my phone. Let's see. And so I just set a timer on my phone. So depending on what the job is, if it's something that I want to spend an hour doing, 45 minutes, an hour and a half, whatever, I'll set that timer on my phone, and then I'll do that job for really focused for that length of time. And it means that, as I said, not only am I not doing it for too long so that I'm getting a bit burnt out, it makes me really focused when I'm doing it, and I actually find that I do the same or more than if I was just doing it, you know, for whenever I felt like it, for how long I felt like it. And because I find that if I don't have a timer, then I'll kind of do a little bit, then I'll get distracted, then I'll do a little bit, and then I'll maybe look on my phone, or I'll do a little bit and then I'll go make a cup of tea, and I'm not very focused, and I kind of like faff around and I end up wasting lots of time. But I noticed that if I use my timer, it makes me really focus, and it's almost like a bit of a competition with myself where I'm like, I want to beat the timer, I want to get as much done as I can within that time. So yeah, so that's just a little productivity tip for not just if you're, you know, for if you have an online business, for if you're doing work for your job, if you are, you know, maybe doing something like housework, or if you're doing something where you're not wanting to be faffing around, you want to make the best use of your time, setting a timer for yourself and make it a realistic time, obviously, is a really, really good productivity tip. So I'm thinking what I might do is actually just finish off this vlog here, because tonight I'm not totally sure what we're doing. Tomorrow we're actually travelling back up to Edinburgh with James's dad, and I know that we're going to be busy doing bits and bobs you know, back at home. So I'm going to finish off the vlog here. So thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!